To Britney Spears. He's always done the baby voice. This is something else. I don't know what this voice is. But she's gone. She is unwell. She is unsafe. And this does not end well.
He put so much Botox in this left eye that it drew down like that. And it's just now starting to raise up and be normal again. It's so embarrassed. It's like that. Like, it's, girls, you have to be careful.
God, I hear that. It's pain, right? I mean, there's so much anguish in there. My ex-wife, Sydney, and I had dinner with Britney Spears years ago when she was engaged to my friend Jason Trawick, and he called and said, hey, let's go out with the gals. And so I was like, sure. And the four of us went out to dinner. We went to the Montage in Beverly Hills, and the second floor restaurant was shut down just for us. We had a private table of 4. And Britney came up the back elevator from the garage, and it was very awkward. She has social anxiety like you wouldn't believe. Then, this was literally 15 years ago, maybe more, about at least 15 years ago. And then you think of everything that's, allegedly just fistfuls of Adderall on top of that. And that's where she is now, with the smoky eyes and the dancing in that hallway. And now this baby voice thing, it's just not good. It's not normal.
Okay, so that was Billy Bush nonsensically calling Britney Spears mentally ill and citing this video and her use of a baby voice as, and having social anxiety as being grounds for being so concerned about Britney. If you're watching the video right now, you can see how the filter changes, how it reacts to light. This is a really good example of that filter. So one of the things he cites in there is about her mascara and everything. I think that Billy Bush, see the filter changed because of the light? Yeah. I think that Billy Bush is repeating what Cade Hudson has told him, because he has already said that Cade Hudson is a good friend of his. He has already said that his girlfriend hangs out with Britney and Paris and Nikki. And of course, Kate Hudson, because I don't think that she's allowed around people without his supervision, unless they're like, the Paul Salises of the world, right? Or maybe her security. But otherwise, I don't even know if Britney's allowed around her own mother or her other extended family unless Cade Hudson's there. Like, I know that he took credit for orchestrating some sort of reunion with Lynn a couple years ago. I mean, all of this is really alarming. It's very alarming. I think Billy Bush's video is extremely concerning and nonsensical and not rooted in any sort of reality. So, I mean, the question becomes, his basis for what he says, he honestly looks like he's about to shit his pants. He doesn't care about Britney Spears. So then the question becomes, like, why is he repeating this information that is just factually untrue? I don't know if Britney takes stimulants now. I don't know if she does or not. They didn't release the drug results, the results from the drug test. They didn't release them. And if she was actually doing drugs, I kind of think that they would have. Like, she might have just tested positive for, like, her prescriptions, and that's why they didn't release them. But that whole thing with that situation was incredibly bizarre as well. So all of that being said, I just want to say, first of all, that Tiffany Haddish just pled guilty to drunken driving. But you don't see Cade Hudson on social media calling her behavior inexcusable, do you? Do you hear Billy Bush saying that he's so concerned about Tiffany Haddish that you should be praying for her and that she doesn't deserve to have rights and she needs to be controlled and she's mentally ill because she spoke in a baby voice? I mean, given the depths of depravity that recently happened by a person in the industry and their meltdown, whatever that was, the fact that he can sit there and say, talking in a baby voice and having social anxiety is reason enough to take away Britney's rights again is just, it's insane. And it makes me question his mental health, really does. I don't think any of these people who are doing this shit to her are good people. Like, you cannot be both a good person and then a person who tortures a human trafficking survivor. They cannot coexist. Do I think there's something wrong with Britney? I do think there's something wrong with Britney. And you know why I think there's something wrong with Britney? Because she's not firing Cade Hudson. Because she's not firing CrowdSurf. So something must be wrong with Britney that she won't clean house and protect herself. Something must be very, very wrong. I will agree with that something is in fact wrong. I don't know if it's her mental health. I don't know if it's that she's being held hostage. I don't know if she's been brainwashed by Cade Hudson. I don't know. I think that the way he has inserted himself into all aspect of her life is very concerning. It's very alarming. It's much worse than anything we saw with Sam Letfi. Much worse. And that's my opinion. I think when Mariah Carey's ex-assistant said that that Kate Hudson is worse than Sam, I would agree with that. At least with Sam, I see a conscience. I see a guy who shows remorse. I see a guy who stood up for her when Kevin posted those videos. Is he a good guy? I don't know. I do not know. I don't know what the truth of his role in this situation is. I know the conservatorship needed him as a fall guy. I know they needed him as a scapegoat. But do I know who he is as an individual? I don't. Do I understand the role that he played in this situation and whether he was hired to play it? I don't know. I really don't know. I do know that he made attempts to try to help her get out of the conservatorship. Did he go about that the right way? It doesn't kind of sound like it. As far as what Billy Bush says about Britney, and OK Weekly as well, saying that she was abusing stimulants during the conservatorship, she had no control over her medication. And there's a story from way back when from a security guard who said that Britney would be a completely normal person having normal conversations, and then he would be required to give her pills. He didn't know what they were. She would take them, and all of a sudden she would start talking about parallel realities. If you are not bipolar and you take lithium, it can induce hallucinations. It can induce the symptoms of the bipolar disorder. So the question becomes, why is it so important to keep blaming Britney for something that is just factually untrue? She had no control over her medication. Either it was a security guard giving it to her, a nurse that came to a house, or it was like Robin Greenhill. But she had no access to any of this medication. And it's a matter of court record that Jamie himself wanted her to take stimulants. So when she was working, he wanted her on stimulants so she would have the energy to perform. Jamie admitted to the family court that he himself had abused amphetamines, that he had a history of doing this. So he knew their effect. He knew that they could be used like speed, and he wanted that for her. When she wasn't working, he wanted her medicated into a stupor, which is exactly what Rosengard pointed out in the court documentation. So again, no good person is going to continuously attack a human trafficking survivor. No good person is going to hire a PR firm that attacks a human trafficking survivor. If you look at the Discussing Britney thread on Reddit, it's cyberbullying. It's not there to help her. It's only there to bash her. It's literally an I Hate Britney Spears club. It's literally, this is why she doesn't deserve to be seen as a human being. Good people don't do that shit. They don't. They just don't. And best friends don't throw you out, hang you out to dry, and control every aspect of your life. They just don't. Meanwhile, their other client can do whatever the fuck they want, and not a bad word is said.